What it do, y'all? In today's video, we're gonna be talking about the benefits of nofap. I understand that this shit is subjective. Meaning that the benefits that I've experienced might be different than what you experience. It might be similar, but it's going to still be different. And the reason for that is because we're all experiencing this shit to our own degree, right? Like I said, there's people who don't have an issue with this. So the benefits they experience are different than the benefits that you experience, right? Someone who's doing this shit 8, 9, 10 times a day versus someone who's doing this shit maybe 2 or 3 times a day, the benefits they experience are going to be different, right? So these are the benefits I've experienced. Just take it as a grain of salt. Take it as an example, all right? Now, the first things first, what I said in the previous video, energy, time, and discipline, those are the first things that I always want to tell you guys, right? Because they're very important, all right? When you stop doing this shit, you have so much more energy, so much more time, so much more discipline. All right? When I used to do this shit, when I used to watch pornography all the fucking time, I would watch this shit for hours, all right? I would bust several nuts every single fucking day that it drained the fuck out of me. I was lazy as hell. I had no energy. I was a piece of shit, to be honest. All right? There's no sugarcoating it. I was a little piece of shit. All right? I used to spend all my fucking time doing that, where it's like I had no life because all I did on my free time was fucking watch porn and bust nuts, right? So when I stopped doing that shit, I noticed that I had more time. And with this time, I started going to the gym more. I started to read more. I started to socialize more. I started to do more work. I started to improve myself more. I noticed that I had more energy. I noticed that when I was in the gym, I could lift heavier. I noticed I could lift for longer periods of time. If I was ever hitting the heavy bag, I could go for longer periods of time. If I was ever running, I could run longer distances. If I was ever doing sprints, I could go harder than I've ever gone before. This is because of that energy. Right? Whenever I was talking to people, I had more energy. When I'm talking to you right now, you can feel the energy as I'm talking to you. This is a result of that. It's a result of not fucking wasting your energy every single fucking day. Alright, so energy, time, and the discipline, right? Just like I said in the other video, this discipline, it comes natural when you have the time and you have the energy, right? If you have time, if you have all this time, you can do whatever the fuck you want during this time, and you have all this energy that can back up any action that you do in this time. All you have to do is choose what you want to use your energy on. So let's say you want to write a book, right? You can become disciplined. You have the energy, you have the time, and the discipline will come second nature to you because it all blends together. It all works together. It's like gears. It all connects together. But with that being said, the other things that I realized, well, not the other things that I realized, but the other things that I experienced benefit-wise, negative shit pretty much went away. So depression, anxiety, awkwardness, negative thoughts, all that shit went away. Now, before I started doing nofap, I was extremely fucking awkward, right? It's because I was always stuck in my head. So if I was ever talking to someone, I was never fully present. It's like everything was like a few seconds late. So it's like they would say something and it would take me a few seconds to be able to respond or basically receive what it is that they said because I had some other shit going on up here. I was never fully present. I was always stuck in my head, which made me fucking awkward around everyone. And because of this, I never was able to form those actual connections, those relationships with people, right? I was always anxious, meaning that whenever I was in a conversation with someone, I felt like I was forcing this shit. Like I couldn't laugh normal. I couldn't smile, I couldn't joke, I couldn't do anything because it was all forced. I felt so fucking anxious all the time. I didn't want to go out, I didn't want to spend time with anyone because of this shit. And then by not spending time with anyone, by not going out, I spent more time fucking jacking off and watching porn. So you see how I just kept fucking myself over more and more and more and more. And then on top of that shit, it had me depressed. right? Like I'm gonna be honest, I felt low-key suicidal at times, right? And you know, anyone who gets to that point, like it's not a good thing. It's not something that anyone should be getting to. And the fact that I was getting to those points, and the fact that like just ceasing this action of watching pornography and busting a nut all the time allowed this depression, these thoughts to go away, amazes me, to be honest, right? And the negative thoughts that I used to have besides that was just thoughts that would put me down, constantly putting myself down, never lifting myself up, always putting myself down. I realized that we are our greatest enemy, right? We can be our best friend or we can be our greatest enemy. And when I started doing nofap, it's like that negative self-talk changed. And instead of saying, oh bro, you're a fucking piece of shit. These people, they're better than you. You're not to the same degree as these people. You can't talk to these people. Like they already think you're a low life. They already think that you're stupid or some shit like that. Right? These are the thoughts that I used to think, and when I got on nofap, all that shit went away. Right? But then the beautiful thing that started coming in was this positive self-talk. Right? It's like this uplifting voice in my head that would say, no, bro, like you're good enough. Like, oh, bro, like stand up straight. Like, oh, you look good. Oh, take care of yourself. Oh, bro, just say whatever the fuck you gotta say. Fuck it. It doesn't matter what they have to say. Like, it's this voice that was just this positive voice that came out of fucking nowhere. I can't explain it, but it was there, right? And this allowed me to be more confident. It allowed me to start standing up straighter. I mean, obviously, I'm not gonna say, okay, it was this voice that did this, but just having that positive self-talk allowed me to start being more confident. It allowed me to be able to go out, talk to people, form these connections with people, form these relationships, be myself in situations because I'm not forcing it. There's no anxiety. I'm not stuck in my head. There's no awkwardness. There's no depression. There's no negative thoughts. It's just me and them. It allowed me to be more present, have more presence, to be able to talk to people and interact fully with them. You see, the biggest thing that I realized is that we communicate in two ways, right? We communicate with our words, but we communicate non-verbally with our body language. It's the language that's unspoken. And if you're not aware of this shit, if you're not present, if you're not here in the fucking present when you're talking to someone, you're missing out, right? And when I say you're missing out is because this language, this body language, this shit that's going on behind the scenes, if you're not present, if you're not aware of what it is that you are saying without actually saying it, this person is catching on to this shit, whether it be consciously, subconsciously, or unconsciously. They are catching on to this shit, right? If you speak to someone and they're slouched down and, you know, they might be talking to you and everything, but they're slouched down and like you can tell, you can like feel. You can feel their energy. You can feel like what it is that they're actually feeling and what it is that they want to communicate without them even having to fucking say that shit. If you walk up to someone and someone's standing straight with their chest out and they're talking to you, they have a smile on their face, they're happy or they're serious or some shit, you could feel this energy. You understand the language, right? But you can only understand it if you're here, if you're present. And when I got on nofap, it allowed me to be more present. It allowed me to have that peace of mind. It allowed me to be able to be here. And honestly, that quite frankly was one of the most beautiful things in this fucking world. All right, but the last thing that I want to say, the last benefit that's even worth mentioning from what I experienced with nofap is that sex was 100 times better. All right, now when I say that it was 100 times better, it was because I had that experience where I couldn't get my shit up. So after the nofap, I could get my shit up. Everything felt better. It was more sensitized. And as far as like the sensitivity issues that some people experience, I'm gonna get into that in later videos. But with that being said, these are the benefits. This is what I experienced. Understand that it is subjective. What you experience might be different than what I experience. It could be similar, but it's gonna be different. All right. Understand that it's your journey, your benefits, it's all yours, so enjoy that shit. Alright, I hope this video helped you in one way, shape, or form. If you like the content, you want some deeper shit, head over to my Patreon. I'm gonna leave the link in the description box down below. And remember that the time